Hey y'all, me and Lily went to Faith Home last night. I wanted to share this. They had a preacher there, and he got talking about the one with the issue of blood, and it made me start thinking. We all got issues, and that's kind of what he was talking about. About we all got issues, and then, and it's how we deal with those issues. It don't matter whether it's drugs or alcohol or what it is. I mean, everybody's got issues, and everybody struggles with something, and But I was at church this morning, and our worship leader kind of started off thing, and and the way we handle those issues is because He lives. Because He lives, we can face tomorrow. Because He lives, all our fear should be gone. And until I put my hope and my trust in Jesus, and then put my faith in Jesus, and do the things that God's called me to do, that's what gives me the strength, and gives us all the strength to deal with those issues in life, and to deal with those things that go on in our lives. And because life shows up on life's terms, whether we're ready for it or whether we're not. And I'd hate to know. For years I faced them without Jesus, and today I'm grateful that I'm able to face them with Jesus. And that don't mean I do everything right, and you're not going to do everything right, and nobody is. But Randy Hoop said something last night that a failure is just a bruise. It's not a tattoo. He said he's seen that somewhere. That made a lot of sense to me, because it's not a tattoo. It's not something that's permanent just because we feel. It's just something that's there temporarily, to get us from where we are to where God wants us to be. But it's because He lives that we're able to do that. If Christ hadn't came as a baby, and raised as a man, and died as a man, and went to the tomb and rose up, none of this would be possible, y'all. But I've seen Him pull too many people out of the gutters, and out of the muck, and out of the mire, because He reached down His hand, and me and somebody was talking last night at the Faith Home. He reached way down, had to reach way down to pick me up out of that stuff, and He'll reach way down and pick you up out of that stuff. It don't matter where you are, or what you've done, and that failure in your life, it can either be your prison and keep you there and keep you in that darkness, or it can be your platform to where you can serve God in that capacity, and I'm a firm believer that if we find what our passion is, therein lies our calling, and mine's alcoholics and addicts, and preaching the gospel. I love it. I can't get enough of it, and I guess because I are one, and I just thank God today that He's allowed me to be able to pour back into the lives of other people, and I hate for all the missed opportunities I've had, but it's through those missed opportunities that I live my whole life that God has really taught me something, and He'll teach you something. But so many people just want to give up because we don't get what we want or what we think we want. But God always gives us what we need, always gives us what we need. Sometimes when we feel like we don't hear from God, or we feel like God ain't listening, God is always listening, because sometimes His answers wait, sometimes it's no. But because He lives, we can face tomorrow. Because He lives, we can get up out of the bed in the morning, and serve Him with our whole heart, and with our whole soul, and with our whole mind, and fight off those attacks of the enemy. Because when the enemy comes, and he's gonna come, he's been on me for the last 2 or 3 weeks, but he's gonna come. But I can tell you this much: because He lives, and greater is He that is in me than he that is in the world. He's got good for me. God calls them things that ain't as though they already were, because see, nothing's ever occurred to God. God already knows what all's gonna happen. And the problems, and God don't have problems. We think we have problems, but if we lay them in God's hands and lay them in the Master's hands, I promise you that He'll do for us what we can't do for ourselves. And that's good to know. It's good to know that we can lay our head on our pillow at night, and know that God, who hangs the whole universe in His hands, and can keep all of that stuff orbiting at one time, surely He can take care of what's going on in mine and your life. I want you to know today that if you're struggling with something, that if you're having an issue like the woman with the issue of blood was, and she had to press on and keep pressing and keep going and keep doing the next right thing, sometimes that's just what we got to do. Sometimes we just got to keep pressing on. Like Paul says, he said, I ain't made it. I ain't arrived. I don't claim to have arrived. I promise you I ain't made it. Paul said, he said, but I press on for the thing, so I can lay hold of that for which Jesus laid hold of me. And that's good preaching right there, because I want to lay hold of that for which Christ laid hold of me when He reached down His hand and jerked me up out of that mess that I was in. by circumstances, you know, that I got myself in. But he reached down and got me, and he'll reach down and get you, and he'll keep you out of that stuff. That's the good grace of God right there. I feel like that keeping grace, it keeps me out of going back to that mess. I don't mean I ain't susceptible to it, but that keeps me today from going back to that, you know. And I want you to know today that I love you. Jesus loves you is what's most important, and it's because he lives, you know. If you think somebody might get some help out of this, I'd appreciate it if you share it, you know, just so it can help somebody. You know, maybe it's what they need to hear today. And subscribe if you like it, you know, and we love you and we think lots of you. Have a blessed day.